this. This doesn't look very good. Oh, fuck.
I know you in there, Eddie, you motherfucker. Let me out of here. Let me out of here, Eddie. It's your...
Hi Sheddies, it's me, Eddie Stevens. The time is 7:44 p.m. That's my time, of course. Much later than I wanted to be. But I'm here for now. I'm sick as fuck. Sick with it, as they say. I'm so annoyed with you, mainly because there's this expectation now. Now, you might be thinking that the expectation I'm talking about is the expectation that I'm going to come out with a new podcast episode on time. But no, if you've been listening to my podcast long enough, you know the expectation is that I won't do it. The expectation is I will be late or completely absent. So if I don't do this, even though I'm so ill, I'm dying. You'll be like, oh, typical Eddie. Typical Eddie, doesn't get shit done, fucking loser, small dick. But let me tell you something about my work ethic, just so you know. I had to work yesterday while having a full-blown fever. And I didn't want to tell anyone, because it's very selfish of me in a way, but I needed the money. I work in the service industry. I'm a prostitute. And my co-workers, some of them knew I was sick, but one of them, when I was going to leave, she wanted to give me a hug. And I gave her like a weird, awkward side hug. And she's like fucking Sherlock Holmes. She goes, why are you giving me a weird side hug? Are you sick? And I told her, no, I always give side hugs because I always have an erection. Which is not true. But I'm going to have to go to work fully erect every shift that I work with her from now on. I'm not a prostitute. That was a joke. Not far off, though. Let's see. I've got supplies here to help me. I've got this cup of it's beef stock with some butter in it and hot water. And if that sounds disgusting to you, you've obviously never been on keto. This is an old keto hack that I used to do. Just like if you're needing salt and more fat, it's a great way of getting that in you. And it works really well while you're on keto. I am not on keto right now, so it's actually a really stupid thing to do, but I just feel like I need it. I also have a bottle of Cran Raz. Oh, that's good Cran Raz. I was craving it. I never drink Cran Raz juice, cranberry raspberry juice, but I was craving it, and I always trust my cravings. When I'm sick, it's like the body needs something. So apparently I need cranberry, raspberry juice, beef stock, butter, and a lot of cum. This coffee's awful. I can't laugh. So you can, if you want to, laugh at my misery. I was a joke about the cum, by the way. I think a lot of people think I'm gay, largely because I have a TikTok account that is beloved in the gay community, and I may or may not have made money off that, but I'm not gay. There are allegations because people get confused because they know I do have a mild tranny fetish, okay? Sorry, my mind wandered just then. But there's nothing gay about trans women, okay? Trans men, yeah, that would be gay because trans men are men. Trans women are women with dicks. I'll say it again. No, I won't. But there's nothing gay about that. And you'll notice I said tranny earlier. That's considered a very derogatory term, but I would like to point out I have always been very supportive of the trans community. It's my favorite genre of pornography, so they get a lot of clicks out of me. Also, what was I going to say? Trans women, support with trans community, tranny obsession. Oh, God. This is going to be a really bad episode. Normally, I'm free-flowing and it all works, but I'm genuinely much more ill than I appear to be right now. Like, I seem vaguely okay. I'm not vaguely okay. I have a headache, I have a cough, my body is aching, I'm hot and freezing at the same time. Let me check my notes. Was I going to say anything else? What the hell? That's so weird. I definitely was going to say something about trans pornography, but and I feel like it was very important. It doesn't matter anymore. We've got to make this a quick episode because it's a rugby podcast. We've got to make it a very quick episode. I'm talking like 20 minutes at most, which might not be a bad thing if you're watching the YouTube video, because to be honest with you, let me know either in the comments or through rude messages you send me if it's silly to put entire episodes on YouTube, because I feel like it's silly to have a half hour, 45 minute. What was the last one? Was bloody long, wasn't it? I feel like it might be better to just do my podcast and then do what I used to want to do, which is quick little videos that I put on here. But let me know. Maybe I'll do both. I don't know. Here's a super quick episode. Let's just get this done, shall we? It's Rugby Rant Banter, episode 272. Let's go. So one of the things I hate about doing this podcast midweek, of course, this is coming out Christmas Day, which is a fucking Christmas miracle, but it's also a bad day to do. And maybe it's not. Maybe some of you hardcore sheddies, it's going to be a very happy Christmas. You get to unwrap this privately in your car, maybe, with no kids around, with headphones or earbuds on or in, because you don't want kids. Well, you don't want kids. You don't want your mother-in-law hearing it. You don't want most people to hear this. You might not want to hear it. We'll find out. But my point is, some of you might be very happy that it's coming out Christmas Day. But for the most part, I feel like most rugby fans have short memories and we've stopped caring about last weekend's rugby. We're already looking to the new weekend. But nevertheless, I'm going to talk about the last weekend's rugby, and I'm just going to look at notes I have from 3 games. I can't even be bothered to vaguely mention the games that I haven't got notes on. I don't remember what they were. I don't remember. I'm so unwell that by the time I'm done with this, I couldn't tell you who the rugby teams are that I didn't mention. I don't remember. I can't name a rugby team right now. My brain is not really working. I am going to have to rely heavily on my notes. This is bad. If you've never listened to Rugby Rant Banter before, if you've never watched a Rugby Rant Banter video before, I was going to say, don't judge me on this. But yeah, do judge me on this, because there's always a fucking problem. I always have a problem. But you know, you're, like I was hinting at this earlier, I feel like you're partly to blame because you do want me to do these. If you're listening or watching, you do want me to do these. And you push me so fucking hard. Okay, and I got serious beef with Mooney from Tribe Talking. I will get into that later, because that's put a lot of stress into my life, which is already stressful, because I have 3 fucking kids. All right? I said I have 3 fucking kids. I didn't say I am. Let me just go to my rugby notes. First note, the Premiership is so competitive right now. Assumptions about lack of relegation leading to less competitive league, very wrong. Now listen to me. I'm going to kind of pull this out of my ass right now. Not literally, if you're listening to the audio and not watching the video. I feel like when they got rid of relegation, most people weren't happy about it. I didn't know how I felt about it because I heard a lot of strong arguments supporting either side, and I'm not a bright person. I don't know how things work. It's what I call grown-up business. I just sit back and wait to be served my dessert. But there were people saying, a huge number of people saying, it's a terrible idea. Without relegation, there's no risk of relegation. Isn't that funny? Isn't that weird? Without relegation, there's no risk of relegation. Did you know that? Jesus Christ. This is going to be a struggle. So the implication was that teams wouldn't care and they wouldn't be as serious about their rugby or as desperate to win. What I have seen is not that at all. I've seen very desperate rugby and teams Here's the thing. I find this very interesting. Rugby, the Prem, as they call it, has sped up monumentally over the last few years, hasn't it? Don't you agree? A lot of free-flowing rugby, the kind that I enjoy watching, and some of you enjoy watching, but a lot of rugby purists who aren't happy unless a game is 80 minutes of scrummaging, tackling, and kicking that ends in a 3-3 draw. They hate it. They don't like fun rugby. For some reason, I don't understand it. Now, I get, and I'm repeating myself from other episodes, you don't want, optional tackling and crazy just throwing the ball around at any cost, or you'll watch sevens if you want to see that kind of free-flowing rugby. But, you want to see the best attacking rugby with the best defensive rugby if possible, right? Now, I heard a lot of the rugby brethren complaining over the last couple of seasons. Not so much this season, actually, interestingly, but over the last couple of seasons, 2-3 years, really ever since they got rid of relegation, that the rugby on display has lost its edge. There's not good defense. It's all high scores. These high scores freak people out. It's a very similar narrative to what I heard and what we've heard, Pete, and maybe you're guilty of this, and if you are, fuck you, shame on you, people who would constantly, and people I like and respect have had this attitude, right? This idea that, for example, Super Rugby in New Zealand, they would always say, optional defense, crazy attack in rugby, but it's not intense enough in the defense. And there was this, not just enough, this idea that they're not playing international level rugby, and yet there was this huge problem and flaw in the argument in that New Zealand would almost always beat us, right? Now, I remember hearing people complaining or talking shit about New Zealand club or provincial, whatever it is, rugby, not being hard enough, not having hard enough defense, and thinking those teams would probably beat Premiership teams, almost certainly. And when we go up against them in internationals, the All Blacks don't seem to have any problem with defense. Now, I don't know, right now it's like we just beat them recently, and but that's to my point. As English Premiership rugby has moved more towards that style of attacking, I know it's not quite the same, but as English rugby has become higher scoring, basically, the quality of, and it's not directly related, but it's, it is worth noting that England's performances have improved. And in the Champions Cup, hey, we're doing all right. Last week I tried to say that the Premiership teams were doing really well in Champions Cup, and then I realised that actually we were 50-50. But still, it hasn't been this rapid decline in quality, rapid decline in edge that people talk about. And I know right now there's going to be people talking shit to me, as they want to do, as they are wont to do. Is that a real word? W-O-N-T, isn't it? Is it want or won't? As they are wont to do, as they won't not do, they'll talk shit and say, no, it's not good enough, you'll see in World Cups and blah, blah, blah. Who knows what they'll say? They'll say horrible, horrible things to me. They make me cry. I'm extremely sensitive. You know that. I do stand-up comedy, and everyone thinks that comedians have thick skins. A lot of comedians I know are the most fucking sensitive little bitches you'll ever meet, and I'm really bad. I am very easily offended. I try not to show it, but the rugby brethren will tell you, I flip out over the slightest little thing. Next note. Josh Kemeny, what a try. So we're talking about the Saints match now, where they beat the living shit out of Harlequins. I mean, it was an ass-kicking. Quins are one of those teams. You know what? All of the teams are like this, with the exception of Bath at the top and Newcastle at the bottom. I'm just reiterating what I said last week. All these teams are capable of getting spanked or thrashing each other. It's really weird. But Saints do seem to be really progressing right now. I think Saints and Bath, Saracens, despite this last weekend, you'd probably still say have a real chance up there. Leicester, I'm not so sure on, but I'm getting sidetracked. Josh Kemeny, what a try. We just ran through everybody. He never scored a try like that when I put him in my fucking fantasy team. Because I have the Shiders touch. Do you know what? I haven't hurt any players this year. Normally when I select players for my... Actually, that's probably not true now that I think about it. A number of players I've picked have gotten injured and I've had to replace them. Aaron Reed. Now I'm just reading, and I'm reading and I'm airing the notes that I wrote here. Aaron Reed, you fucking cheating, lying pussy, fakes a head injury. He's totally fine and lying to try and manipulate the referee. They have to start disciplining players that do this bullshit and are caught, because it's literally the reason I don't watch football. If we're going to have that in the game, I am out 100%. I am not watching a sport where cheating is an accepted part of the game and can directly determine the outcome of a match. Now, I'm fucking serious. I won't watch football. English football. I used to try and watch England play football, but it is, I don't know, I can't believe that people enjoy it. It's a really shit sport, like, to watch. I bet it's fun to play. But my biggest issue with football, and I'm not one of these people, like, I hate it when rugby fans try and condescend football supporters. But then it's usually like an ethical thing. It's like, we have more values and blah, blah. No. But just based on the game, the fact that it is an accepted part of that sport to cheat, lie, fake an injury shamelessly, and everyone just gets on with it. No one cares. Games have been won and lost because of it. To me, it's cheating. It's almost like it's rigged at that point. I have no interest in it. And if this shit is going to happen, Aaron Reed, that is I'm vaguely remembering it right now. I'm pretty sure he grabbed his head, said his head had got hit, and it was either not touched at all or barely. He was faking it. And some people say, no, you can't call a player out like that. If you can't, how can you know? No, I know, and he knows, and I am calling him out. A great player, a really great player who let himself down by doing that. I need some Cran Raz to calm down. So goddamn good. Okay. Next note. Hendy is fucking amazing. And he is. I'd love to see him in an England squad, but as you've heard, as you probably thought yourself, and as you've heard in every single rugby podcast for the last month or so, maybe longer, and you've even heard commentators talk about, there is so much you know what? There's too much depth back three for England. There's too much. Like it's stressful. You have to leave out someone that is incredible when you're naming your imaginary squad. But Hendy, I'd love to see him in there, but I don't think it's going to happen just because of all these players that are playing so well. Speaking of players playing well, I thought, and I'm pretty sure I read someone say the opposite to this, so let me know if I'm fucking delusional. I thought Finn Smith was fantastic in this match. I'll read my notes. Well, wait, let me just say this first. No, I'll read the notes. But the point of this is, there was a time very recently that Finn Smith was 100% England's starting 10. Then, all of a sudden, because Finn Smith got selected for the Lions, George Ford went to Argentina and played well. And everyone decided George Ford is actually England's starting 10. Now, this is what I wrote in my notes. If George Ford had a game like Finn Smith had, running, passing, tackling, organising an attack. This is too dark for me to read. Okay. People would be masturbating into their England flags about how great he is. Funny how the narrative has been about how George Ford has been underrated and dismissed unfairly, but I actually think it's been totally fair. I really love what I'm saying here. I agree with this. Isn't that weird? He's a very good player, but he's George Ford is a limited fly half. He's very good, but he is a limited fly half. He's small and he's slow. He's absolutely good enough to play 10 for England. I'm not saying he's not, but where was I? Don't ignore his weaknesses and who is waiting in line to take the reins. For me, Finn Smith is the best all-round 10, and Marcus is too talented to ignore as a bench player. Like, and guess what? I'm not like fired up about this to the point. It's not like, oh, Finn Smith's 100 times better than George Ford. I think it's very, very close. And there are things that George Ford is better at. Or maybe one thing he's better at. One or two. But Finn Smith is better than George Ford at a number of things. And I think we would do well to persevere with him. I like that Finn Smith can smash people. And it's not like he's limited in his understanding of the game or his nerves, his big match nerves. He's the complete package. I just find it real. It's so annoying to me. These like, oh, he's the best. Oh, he's actually the best. And it's like, it's almost like not trendy to just make your fucking mind up and stick with someone, which is exactly what people have said about George Ford. So whatever. But I think Finn Smith is still a man. And I'm not, people will say it's because I'm a Saints fan, but I'm a really shit Saints fan. As Mooney from Tribe Talking will tell you, a plastic Saints fan, which I am. Saints coming into serious form. Oh, they didn't beat Quinn. Sorry, who did they beat? Fucking idiot. They beat... was it Sale? It was Sale, wasn't it? They beat the shit out of Sale. Okay. It's because Quinn's got smashed by Bristol, which I was very happy to see because I like Bristol for the reasons the purists don't like Bristol. They don't like that they play attractive rugby, but I do. I love it, and I don't care if they lose. Here's my notes. Harlequins versus Bristol. Flatman, whilst commentating, reiterating my point about penalties for people trying to jackal but not really securing the ball. Yes, he pointed out exactly what I pointed out last week. A player hits a ruck, or a tackled player, reaches to grab the ball, to jackal the ball, his hands just about touch the ball, and he gets rucked off of it. And then they give a penalty. It's like, no. The player on the ground has to be holding and resisting. There has to be a very clear resisting in order for that to be a penalty. Like the player on the ground should be allowed to hold it for like a split second, even place it back. And this idea that we're just going to automatically penalty someone because they put their fingertips on a fucking ball, this is ridiculous. But it does keep happening. Next note. Also, Ugo reiterating my point regarding Van Rensburg's England eligibility and how centre used to be a problem position for us. So this is just what I said last week, that I used to really want Van Rensburg to be brought into the England squad, but now we've got a bit more depth, and by the time he actually is available next year or whenever it is, I don't think we'll really need him. And to be clear, if you're going to recruit a mercenary who's from another country, South Africa of all places, because he's not getting picked for South Africa, I don't really have a problem with it, but it needs to be exceptional circumstances. There needs to be it needs to be like, oh, he could win us games. And maybe that will be the case. We'll find out. Highlight of this game was Ellis Genge's try from a quick throw-in. Running over Nick David. Not a highlight for him. Fucking embarrassing. It is embarrassing. Not that there's no shame in not being able to tackle a raging juggernaut like Ellis Genge at full speed like that, but he would hope to put him down, and he's going to feel like a bitch, unfortunately. But don't worry, we would have all done the same. In fact, we wouldn't even have tried to tackle him. So many great Bristol performances, but for Quins, Kenningham was very good. I thought Jack Kenningham was really good during this game, which is incredible because Quins were man for man bad pretty much, but Kenningham I thought was constantly making a nuisance of himself and putting his body on the line. I was impressed, and I like him a lot. I wouldn't mind seeing him in an England squad again. Now, Saracens versus Exeter. I'm speeding up the way I talk because I really want to get this done. I'm sorry, but I just feel so rough. Saracens versus Exeter. Okay, so first of all, I have noticed that since I started doing, I did one YouTube video of my episode, and I told people to follow me on Instagram and other places, and I said, let me know who you are, like why you're following me, otherwise I won't know who you are. Well, most people who follow me still didn't bother telling me who they are, but I look at their profiles. There is a very large number of Exeter Chiefs fans. And I am worried that this is actually Mooney's minions. And if it's not, I apologize, but I'm worried that it's Mooney's minions that he is unleashing on me. They're all going to get into my DMs and at some point just attack me. And if that's the case, I'll kill myself. All right? And it will be Mooney's fault. Do you hear me, Mooney? This will be on you. And I don't want to kill myself, but I'll do it just to, and I will, this is on the record. If Mooney unleashes an army of Chiefs fans, even though I've never said anything bad about Chiefs, every time they win, I would normally go, oh good, Chiefs are playing well now. But then I get Mooney doesn't really message me unless Chiefs win. And when they do, he's like, did you see the game? I will, he respects, he doesn't spoil it for me. He waits, he doesn't want to give away the score. But I know if he's messaging me that Chiefs won and he wants to. And then I'll even like say something, he'll post stuff on Instagram and I'll like it. And then he'll put at Eddie Stevens, suck it. And I don't want to suck it, which I keep telling him. And for the 10,000th time, I have no issue with Exeter Chiefs. I've never thought they're bad. I thought they were playing badly. Okay, so in the world of rugby brethren, there's these podcasts and podcasters who are connected, right? Now, we all know that JB from Egg Chasers has been saying, well, to be honest with you, I get what he's saying when he defends himself by saying that he was right the entire time. He was definitely very condescending and he said Chiefs aren't a good team. I think that's what he said. Now, to be clear, I mean, it's semantics, eventually. It's like, well, he said they weren't a good team because at that time they weren't a good team because they weren't playing well. I've never said Chiefs are not a good team. I don't think. I fucking hope I haven't. I'm pretty sure all I've ever said is that there's issues there and they're not playing well. And here's the real problem, and this is what upsets Mooney, and this is why he won't come on my podcast anymore, because he gets so upset. Mooney is obsessed with Greg Fisselau being the best number 8 in the Prem, which he's not. Now, Chiefs fans, some of you have got to be able to see that. Would you really have Fisselau starting for England ahead of the treacherous fucking mercenary Tom Willis if he hadn't left when he was playing for England? No way. Come on. Even Ben Earl is great. Both of them are ahead. I could name quite a few too. I am quite certain that all Exeter Chiefs fans would put Greg Fisselau higher up in the rankings than me. But that's because of one of two reasons. Either Exeter Chiefs fans are biased towards Exeter Chiefs players, which is possible, right? Or I'm wrong. Maybe I haven't seen enough of him. I don't always watch Exeter play. I've watched entire matches where Mooney insists that Fisselau was incredible and he does basically nothing. Now, this particular game, where they beat Saracens, which I was very happy about until I forgot that Mooney... he's making me not want Chiefs to win. That's the sad truth, is that it would be delightful for me to wallow in his misery if they lost now. But, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. I was probably starting to get ill over the weekend, and that's why I'm really sick right now with it. I fell asleep during the match. I saw bits of it here and there. From what I saw, Greg Fisselau had a much better game. From talking to members of the Brethren, he had a better game than he normally does. Like, it was one of his better performances. Okay? Yay. Rush him into the England team. Hey, maybe he's good enough for England. I just haven't been... And bear in mind, I've said this 100 times. When I saw Greg Fisselau play for the England under-20s, with no influence from anyone else, I didn't know who he was, I didn't know who he played for, I got really excited about him. And I said, this guy is going to be fucking amazing. Because he was. And then I watched him dozens of times be okay. Right? So we'll see. Maybe he's a victim of... here's just... I will say this, because I'm a great, great man. And I'm humble. And I am very well aware that I can be wrong. I won't call someone a clown or talk shit on social media if I disagree with someone. But I can't remember what I was saying. My fucking ADHD. Oh, yeah. I was going to say... No, it's gone. God damn it. Oh, my back is killing me. Oh, this is what I was going to say. It is possible that if Mooney and Exeter Chiefs fans are prepared to admit this, Exeter Chiefs were not playing very well over the last season building up to this. There was a period where things weren't going well. They were losing. It is possible that Fisilau was playing very well for a team that was struggling, and that I missed that. That maybe I was not taking into account he was having to do a lot of work by himself. Maybe, something like that. It's possible that I'm just blind and don't know what's going on. I mean, it's possible, right? I'm just saying what I've seen. I've seen a player who definitely has talent, who I've definitely seen look pretty good, but not someone that I would ever say should be in the England squad. Then again, they could put him in the England squad and he could prove me wrong, and I would love that. Anyway, that's the end of the podcast because I'm very unwell, as I keep telling you, but you won't listen. And I'm very fucking tired, and I got to get this fucking video out. That's so unfair. Follow me on Instagram at Eddie Stevens Massive. Please tell me why you're following me. Don't make me have to check your profile and figure out where in the world you live. And if you're from Exeter, I will be very suspicious, but I will accept your follow because I have good faith, you know. Follow me on... You can follow me on Facebook if you want to. I never really say that, but it's just Eddie Stevens. You can follow me on TikTok at Eddie Stevens 0. That's completely safe now. There's no weird homoerotic shit. Sorry if that disappoints you. And please like and subscribe to this on YouTube, even if you're never going to watch it again, just to fuck with the system, if anything. I'm going to go now. That's it. I'm really bad at ending these. I'm just going to go. Leave me alone.